now they can hear us, and they should be able to hear us and see us. And we look a little washed out and pasty today, but that's okay.
You wouldn't know my shirt's purple. You do have your Swedish fish shirt on, one of your 3 shirts with collars.
5.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy August.
Java with Josh.
Java with Josh. Cheers, my friend David.
Now, this, my friends, is the very first pumpkin coffee of the season.
Good God.
August 22nd, and Brew Point Coffee, which is our local favorite mom and pop coffee shop, beat Starbucks to the punch and came up with their pumpkin first. Now, their pumpkin is superior to Starbucks. Kara, I'm sorry if you're watching, which you're probably not, but I'm sorry. Kara, your former neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You probably don't care about this, but I work out in the mornings at Orange Theory Fitness, and they name their workouts. Sometimes they have signature workouts. And next Wednesday, they've named the workout PSL.
Yes.
I'm guessing that's the day that pumpkin spice latte gets released at Starbucks.
If that's the 26th, that's the day it's getting released.
Let's come out there, yeah.
Well,
So
what day? Yeah, maybe they might be late, but.
Well, happy August. And before we get going too far, you guys might be hearing some things in the background that you don't normally hear, and you're seeing this on a day you don't normally see it. And I'm wearing a polo shirt when you normally see me in a long sleeve shirt and a tie. So it's a little different than we normally have, and that's because outside of our door right over here is this happening. We are doing some updates in our office. We're framing in some new conference rooms, and today of all days is the day that that started. So we're if you hear noises and construction, it's not Dave. It is. It's just what's happening outside our door here. So, but actually, before we go, I'll show you a little bit what we're looking here, what it's going to finish like, or some of the things. That picture in the upper left is our new front entry. We put a vestibule in. It's not finished, obviously. There's not going to be electrical and fire extinguishers hanging there. But below that is Jerry, our receptionist, and that is the new reception area that you're going to see as soon as you walk in the door. I always hated our office because you walked in and you walked into a big empty hallway.
Yeah.
Now you're going to walk into Jerry's welcoming area. The big picture on the right, that is where Jerry's area used to be. It's also where all the guys are doing the construction right now. So that's kind of what's happening here. It's kind of
exciting.
Fun.
The office went from creepy to very welcoming and warm.
Kind of like you.
Kind of like me, depending on the day.
The joke I was trying to go in my head, is it kind of like me or kind of like you? I went with you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm the easier target here.
Well, you had some fun. It's back to school time. We had back to school a couple weeks ago with my kids, and this is their back to school picture. Mm-hmm. We took a picture right looking into the sun.
Yeah.
You can tell that because Zach's glasses are starting to go to the dark shade. Uh-huh. Alex is squinting, by all means, and Maggie's just Maggie. So,
she's always ready to strike a pose.
But in our house, school is it was a big year for us. We had the boys are in middle school this year, so this is the first year that they have gym class every day. And you remember this back from the middle school gym class. You have to change in gym class into gym uniforms. And I had to lay in bed with Alex for like 15 minutes the other night because it was the next day was his first day of having to change. So I had to give him lots of tips on how to change in a men's locker room. I think I did a good job.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Sometimes you still change here in front of me, so I guess yeah.
But he came home from school that day. I'm just dropping that.
Yeah,
I figured there's nothing we can do with that.
Yeah, compliance. Sorry.
He came home from school that day. I go, so dude, was it better or worse than you expected? He goes, it was way better. I was like,
yeah,
good. See, it's not that bad.
It's awesome. And meanwhile, Zach's just like, I love everything.
See, he literally does. It's just the best.
That's cool.
And your kid's school started a week late.
Yeah.
A week later than us, not week late. I'd rather start when you started than when we start. But because your wife teaches in the same district that my kids go to school in, you had some land-in time. You had some time with just you guys.
We did. Yeah, man, we had a boys' week here. So what you're looking at is Milwaukee's kind of like our jam now. It's just like where we go. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. So I took Lando up to see a Milwaukee Milkmen baseball game. It's a AA minor league baseball team. I actually don't know if they're affiliated with a major league team. A lot of these AA teams are going independent now, but they're in the same conference as like the Chicago Dogs and the Cougars. So that type of environment. And really cool for him and I to see like a different ballpark, totally different stadium. I think it probably held maybe 2,000 people max. There's probably 500 people there. So it was a lot of fun. He caught a first baseman threw a ball up to him in the stands. So that was a hoot. Obviously, that you see him with the mascot. And then him and I just love to get canes. And every time we get canes on our trips, we always take pictures and send it to Michael in our office because Michael's obsessed. And every time we get it, Landon's like, do you think Michael's going to be jealous? I'm like, well, let's find out. And sure enough, Michael always gets jealous. So that's what you're seeing there. Yeah.
So, before we go too far, as you know, so far we've gone through fluffy stuff. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, we got to hit the compliance, which is everyone's favorite. What this pretty much is saying is what we're about to talk about is not to be construed as specific advice, but for your informational purposes only. And if you'd like specific advice, we'd be happy to talk to you about it one-on-one, but make sure it applies specifically to your situation before acting on anything.
Yeah, and hey, we got a whole bunch of people watching live. I know we usually don't go live on Friday, so thank you for joining us. Few of you have hit that thumbs up button. You know, I feel dirty always asking, but it really does help Google pass our video on to people who are doing searches in their search bar for like retirement
Do you think
topics.
they hit the thumbs up button when you made the inappropriate joke about me changing in front of you?
I mean, it was 0. Now it's all of a sudden 2, so it's probably the reason. But hey, love if you go ahead and hit that thumbs up button so more people can see our videos. And despite us not talking about Trump or the one big beautiful bill today, I think we're going to get billions and billions of views.
It's really been interesting. This year has been a year where there's lots of stuff going on, and a lot of it's coming from the president. It's coming from the executive branch, and so there's a lot to talk about with that. But that is a name, you know, when you put Trump in the title, and I'm trying to keep these as apolitical as possible. But when you put Trump in the title, because that's what we're talking about, man, do people either love it or hate it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, they kind of ignore like the fact that we're talking about factual things, and they just kind of get all emotional about it. Yeah.
So, also, we had a few people at our last, actually, we were in Wheaton this week talking about Social Security, and we had a few people that came to us from the Java with Josh show. So we'll tell you about next month here. We're going to be in Downers Grove at the Downers Grove Lincoln Center in their auditorium, which is a great place to be. September 9th, we have a 11:30 in the morning or a 6:30 in the evening. And then on Wednesday, September 20th, we also have a 6:30 presentation. And I always tell people this is a great chance to, if you want to learn more about our thought processes, Social Security impacts everybody in retirement. And even if you think you know everything, I'm going to tell you, you probably will learn something coming through there. So it's kind of a fun thing to watch. If you'd like to sign up, go to our website, fsrwealth.com, and you can sign up for the event right there.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And when Michael from our office calls you to confirm and see if you have any questions, tell him you heard about it on Java with Josh.
Love it.
So, also coming up here, we have the radio shows every Saturday morning, 7 to 8 a.m. It's lovely. I'm getting more people. Actually, I had 2 gentlemen come up to me in Wheaton and say they are weekly listeners to the radio show. So that was a lot of fun to hear that. If you're up at 7 to 8 a.m. on Saturday mornings, WLS 890 a.m., it's a fun show that I do with Mark Elliott.
You know, I was downtown Glen Ellen at a cafe, just, you know, reading a newspaper, having a sip of coffee. It was like 7:20 last Saturday a.m. And I heard just like 4 cars drive by blaring your show through their speakers.
Yeah, that is the type. I mean, probably the bass was up.
Oh.
I mean, it was really going. So.
Oh, yeah. I saw people with tears in their eyes. They were so moved by what you had to say. So tune in.
Oh, man, David.
No.
This is our most casual show I think we've ever done. And so far, I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's great.
So,
well, 16 billion people are watching live.
16 billion.
Yeah, crazy. Hi, Dad.
Dave, do you want to talk a little bit about our mission statement here at FSR Wealth?
No, you do that much better.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
Yes. I did update the slide to tweak the language a little bit.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big firm believer in that retirement is a giant part of your life. And I make jokes in the workshop that my son Alex at 11 years old tells people he can't wait until he retires because this is this thing that we look forward to our entire lives. So we have developed our mission statement to help make retirement the best part of your life. And financial is a part of it. Well, there's a lot that goes into it, and we understand that retirement can be different for everybody, and so we really want to encourage this generation, the retirees that still have a huge impact on our society and our life and each other and themselves, that this is the time to really enjoy it and make it, like as I said, the best part of your life.
Yeah. And really quick, so first, there's a handful of first-time viewers I'm noticing here. So if you're not sure what Java with Josh is, it is a monthly live YouTube show where days before we go live, Josh and our team of advisors will kind of sit down and pick out a super relevant and timely financial topic to discuss. Lately, it's kind of been dominated by the one big beautiful bill, rightfully so. And so that's what we're doing here today. We also started launching a weekly, like roughly 2 minute market update that we get out every Tuesday afternoon. We don't have time to go deep and heavy, but Josh just gives a quick like bullet point update on what's happening. Again, lately that's been dominated kind of with like the back and forth with Chairman Powell and tariffs and things like that. But we post that on our YouTube channel, on Facebook, on Josh's LinkedIn. So again, the world needs more Josh, so he says. So let's get him more Josh.
That does not come from me. That comes from you.
Yeah, it does come from me.
So,
job security.
Let's actually, I have one more slide to show, and I kind of feel bad about even showing it.
Oh boy.
So here's our slide, and I'm going to tell you why I feel bad showing it. Here's our upcoming shows: Wednesday, September 10th, Wednesday, October 8th, and Wednesday, November 12th. I think the last 3 shows we have moved.
Yeah.
We've moved. Yeah. And so they're going to be around then. I mean, that's about when they're going to be. I mean, it's what I got. It's going to be close. It's going to be right around that time.
We can't even say it's going to be on Wednesday, to be sure, because, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we do love it. We love doing this, and
we love you. All right, sorry. I just felt like there was
You're very like lovey-dovey today.
Yeah, it's Friday. It's summer Friday. It's
Yeah.
All right, let's get going.
Let's get going here. Let's talk about some things. Now, today, I wanted to take a look back, and as Dave was asking me, what do you want to talk about today? I really wanted to spend some time not on the one big beautiful bill, because we've spent so much time on that over the last couple months on Java with Josh. And I wanted to get back to kind of a market update. And what I thought I would do is take a look back at our January show, because our January show, we were kind of looking at 2024, and we were trying to make some predictions for 2025, which is crazy, but it was fun to look at it. And we're going to kind of talk about where we are right now and what we're seeing going forward here. So, before we begin, I always want to go through this. This is our Own Your Retirement Planning process, and it's blurry as all get out. No idea why.
It's weird.
But this is the 5 key components that go into every retirement plan, and they're all important. They're all equally as important. They all impact you in your lifetime. Today, we're going to talk pretty much about, a lot about the investments and wealth protections, a lot we talk about here on Java with Josh, but we will hit some of the tax planning and the income as well as that comes into play. So I want you to be aware of all of those things that we're talking about. Now, the first slide I'm going to show you is one that I used to show you pretty much every single month on Java with Josh, and this is our U.S. Treasury yield curve. And let me take my face off of here so you can get it a little bit better. This is the one that we showed you in January. And what you're going to see, the bottom line down here, this is a traditional yield curve. You're going to see it starts lower in the 3-month, and it continues to go higher. It's an upward sloping line, they call it. And so what this pretty much means is the longer term you go out, the higher interest rates you should expect. And these are treasuries. These are, these are the yield curve that we look at in U.S. Treasuries. Now, back in December, we kind of almost flattened out. So our short-term 3-month treasuries are at 4.32, and our long-term we're at 4.78. What you're going to notice, everything has come up drastically. Now, this has changed shapes a ton, but we have yet to get back to that straight line upward facing. That downward in the middle is kind of the goofy part. Now, I wanted to look forward to what we have right here. And so the bottom line hasn't changed. It's identical to what it was before. But what you're going to notice is our short term here has stayed pretty much identical at 4.32, and that's because federal interest rates have stayed pretty consistent. But we have more of a downward sloping, and our back end has actually risen a little bit up to 4.9. So that means when I look out here, our 30-year treasuries are longer-term interest rates have actually come up a little bit in so far this year. So this has been impacting mortgage prices and a lot of the longer-term stuff. But our shorter-term stuff hasn't changed much. Now, I find that to be fascinating with all the stuff that's going on here, all the stuff we're hearing from Jerome Powell. We're going to talk a little about what we expect with that, but there's some really interesting things there. Now, the next thing I want to show you, and this is fascinating to me when I saw this. Maybe I'm the only one, Dave, that's fascinated by this, but I love graphs. So,
if you notice, I was just on my phone playing a game while you were talking about that. So.
There's a New York Times game. Do you know that?
Oh no.
Yeah, Missy pointed out to me. It's called Pibs. It's like a domino type thing. It's fascinating.
Really?
Pibs?
Yeah. Ooh,
Pibs. Yeah, it's on the New York Times app.
Something's blown up in our office. Construction.
It's construction.
That scared me. Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. Right. Now, this was an inflation slide. I showed this to you back in January, in January. This was looking back, over a time period, and we saw the inflation skyrocket and then start to come down. And this is where we were, and this is kind of what they expected at the end of the second quarter of 2025, as they were looking through inflation. So, seeing where we are now, and every month they limit the inflation. They show you the inflation rate as it comes in. I want to show you the latest graph here. Now, a few things you're going to notice. This front end, because they've cut off some of those older months because they've fallen off here. So back here on this side of the graph, it would be going like this. But what you're going to see, the expected inflation over the end of this quarter has actually gone up. Which isn't good. It's not what we're looking for, but it actually is also kind of relative because this was pre-tariffs. Like this last slide I showed you was pre-tariffs. This was pre One Big Beautiful Bill. This is all of that stuff. And everyone predicted that we would see giant increases in inflation and giant increases in recessionary things and stuff like that. And so far, we haven't seen that come across yet. And actually, we're going to talk about what we see from the Federal Reserve coming up here in a second. But I thought this was really interesting. The other thing I want to point out here, and this is kind of fun, we've shown this graph a few times as well. This was at the end of last year. This is the cumulative returns of the S&P 500, and the S&P 500 has been on fire over the last few years. In fact, since October 12th of 2022, at the end of last year, it was up over 64%, and it has had a huge run up, and those are large U.S. stocks, the S&P 500. And we did have a dip coming in May of this year. We had a dip down, in February, March, and April this year. We did have a dip in our S&P 500, and when we were talking in May and April, we were talking about that and kind of what we were seeing there. But we've had a recovery quite a bit since then. So this is our graph now, and if you look here, that same since October of 2022, I'll get my face out of here, we're actually up 77%. So why am I showing this? Why does this matter? Because if you remember back to our shows in April and May, we were trying to talk you off the ledge. We were trying to say, hey, guys, this volatility happens. This volatility is normal. Now, I'm not trying to tell you to run and jump in the pool now. I'm not trying to say, hey, this is a party. But what I'm saying is we don't know what's happening day to day. And maybe as an advisor, that sounds awful to say that. But I think admitting that and making sure that people are prepared no matter what happens is really the key here, because all of these things are happening whether we like it or not. And so as we make knee-jerk reactions, this is where we get hurt. And so this is something that I want to make sure that we're talking about here. So now here's my favorite slide, and I showed this in January. I was making predictions for the year, and these were some of the predictions that we came up with. And we talked about potential tailwinds, so things that were going to help us, and we talked about things that we had headwinds on. So let's talk about these a little bit as to what's come to fruition so far this year. Apparently, I need my face on there for some reason. Everyone needs more Josh, right?
No,
Dave?
that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Tailwinds, tax cuts. This was something that's been talked about since President Trump won the election, and the One Big Beautiful Bill came through on this, and there is lots of stuff in there. In fact, the more we dig through it, there's more and more stuff. We're going to talk about AI here in a second, but there's some things in there, and this is going to cause tailwinds to the economy and to the market. It may hurt us long term from a deficit standpoint. I'm not making predictions on that stuff, but there are tailwinds for that. Deregulation. We are seeing some deregulation and stuff. We're seeing there's been some big bills in regards to home building, making home building easier, so hopefully can make housing prices more affordable for the younger generations as they get in here. There was stock market optimism, and I think that stock market optimism continues all the way through to today, especially based upon what we've been seeing in the S&P 500. Headwinds that we've looked at, trade tensions were a big thing. You remember when he had his big day, I forget what they called it, Liberation Day or whatever it was, when he announced all of these tariffs and the market just crashed. Now, he has actually made quite a few deals out of that. So with actually some of our biggest trading partners, there's a few key ones that have yet to come to fruition. And the market right now is kind of eaten into, like, they kind of have just accepted those trade tensions. And as I said in last week's short, it almost feels like any more news on trade is bound to be good, because we've had all the bad news. And so that's kind of something that was a headwind there. Deficit concerns, I don't think those have gone away. I think there's lots of deficit concerns that's there. The labor market tightening. So far, I don't know if anybody else can hear that or not. Like, they are sawing through a wall out there. So the labor market tightening, we haven't seen that until recently. The latest jobs report came in, and we did get some tightening in the labor market there, but it's those were the things that we were looking at, and a lot of it's come to fruition. Now, it's interesting as I look at that, things that we didn't predict and they weren't on there. We're gonna spend some time on that as well. But I showed you this slide as well in January, and the whole concept behind it was, I said that just because we had a good year or 2 good years doesn't mean we're not going to have a good year, but you have to be prepared for a drawdown. And so what this said is, in any given year, the likelihood of a drawdown is pretty big. And so what I look here is I say, okay, there is a 91% chance that in any given year, we're going to lose 5% in the market. Doesn't mean it's going to stay down, but we're going to lose it. There's a 55% chance that we'll lose 10%. There's almost a third chance that we lose at least 15%. And again, we're almost 20%. It's almost 18%. It's almost 20% that we'll lose 20% in the market in some point in time. Now, when I look at this and I compare it to this slide here, this is year over year things that we've lost. So you can see these are drawdowns in prior years. So last year we did have an 8% drawdown. 2023 we had a 10% drawdown. But over the year we earned 23. We earned 24%. So we had good years as they came into play. Now, going backwards here, this year we had a 19% drawdown already. So if we look at that, we've had a pretty decent drawdown, but it has come back. Our S&P 500, as it sits right now, is up a little over 8% this year. And so what does this mean? When we have big drawdowns, what happens? And so this chart is a look back from 1950 that shows drawdowns and what occurred over the next 6 months and the next 12 months. And what you're going to see is the only time we had negative returns after that is 2001 and 2002, right after 9/11 that came into fruition. So all of those things are important. All of those things we have to be aware of. But it's also the, how do I want to phrase this? The drawdowns don't necessarily mean we're in for a bad year. But having a good year like we're having right now doesn't mean it's going to continue forever. And so those are the things that we always want everyone to think about, that you want to be prepared no matter what happens as that comes into play. So does that make sense, Dave?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You having some difficulties over there?
Yeah, I updated the presentation, and that presentation, the papers that you see here in front of me, those are updated. Yeah. The presentation that I have my iPad that I'm showing to the people here, not updated.
How'd that happen?
I don't know. It's just happened.
Okay,
so
fun. Okay.
So we're going to talk through this one here at the end, because I want to point out a few things that in 2025 we didn't actually talk about at the beginning. And the first is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, the companies that are investing in artificial intelligence in the S&P 500, the tech companies, Google, Facebook, all of those, NVIDIA, obviously, those people that have something to do with it, their stock prices are skyrocketing. And when I look at some of the one big beautiful bill things that came in, I told you that there was some things in there that it didn't surprise me, but as I read more in detail what the purpose behind them was, it was interesting. There's a caveat in there where people who are producing or building factories, or not office buildings or apartment buildings or things like that, but factories where they build stuff, they can get a huge tax deduction in 1 year. Now, they used to be able to get that same tax deduction, but they spread it out over like 30 years. Now they get it all over 1 year. It helps them recuperate the cost of building it quicker, so that it encourages them to build more stuff. Now, what's happening here is this AI, all the technology, is requiring a ton of energy and power. And they need these data centers, and they're calling them, they're no longer data centers, they're calling them, I think they're calling them factories.
Data factories?
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating, but they need so much power that a lot of these places are actually building power plants along with these data centers, and they need the capital to be able to do it. And it has really been a boom in a lot of things. You're seeing booms in trades, you're seeing booms in areas that we don't expect. Now, a lot of us here in Illinois aren't seeing that. A lot of us in Chicago, we're so landlocked. A lot of these are being built in more rural areas, which is going to be fun to watch to see what happens there. Inflation is still very real. We are watching inflation every day, just like the Federal Reserve. All eyes are on the Federal Reserve. We are about a few weeks away right now from the next Federal Reserve meeting, and there is about over 90% chance, according to the market, that they're going to drop rates by 0.25%, by 0.25%, and they haven't done that in a while now. And the market's anticipating this. President Trump really wants them to. In theory, the Fed shouldn't care what President Trump wants, and that's how it's built to be. But it doesn't mean they don't act politically in certain ways. But when we look at news of the labor market tightening, inflation numbers have come in pretty decent over the last few months. The tariffs haven't had a huge impact yet from inflation. I think we will see a 0.25%, and that will make the market happy. What we didn't talk about at the beginning of the year, which is interesting, and this is a potential tailwind, is still the wars going on over in Ukraine and Gaza. Any global conflict like that could instantly turn around and cause some major issues out there. But the good news is, if they do calm down, that will help with the growth as well. So right now we are looking, like we think in market-wise, it's going to be a decent end of the year. A lot of the predictions we made, came true. But there's lots of things that you can't expect. And, something that I always hound upon, and I said it earlier in this presentation, is you need to be prepared no matter what happens. You need to know where your income is going to come from no matter what happens. Your investments, they're going to go up and down, but you can't be reliant on them if the market's down. You have to make sure you're okay either way, as they're up or down. Taxes, now more than ever, you need to take advantage. This one big beautiful bill, I'm not going to argue if it's a good thing or bad thing, but what I will tell you is, for the people who take advantage of it, it can have some really huge benefits to you long term for your finances. Healthcare, long-term care, all those things we have to talk about, they all go hand in hand, but you don't want to have to just hope that, hey, because tariffs are gone, we're going to be okay, or whoever's in office next, whatever happens, you don't want them to control if you're okay or not. And that's why we do name it the Own Your Retirement Planning Process, because we want to put you in control as much as humanly possible. God, I talked a lot today, Dave.
Josh, do you remember Dave Relates to Retirees?
Oh, yeah, we did that jingle. That was a great one.
Great jingle. Yeah, I'm not saying I have anything to present, but I was thinking, you're talking about the conflicts in Gaza and Ukraine and all that, and man, remember the other day I was having a hissy fit over almost running out of Spindrift, and you're like, Dave, relax. There's people at war. I'm like, okay, good. So sometimes I just got to put everything in perspective. So thank you again for that. That's not how Dave relates to retirees in any way, but anyways. I'm just
We're getting the inside look at Dave's head today.
Yeah. I just think we need more jingles. I don't know. That's just kind of what I'm thinking here. No?
I just need to take a breath.
Yeah, take a deep breath.
Do you have a recap of today at all?
No, not really. I was playing games. I was thinking of jingles in my head the whole time. I mean, it's kind of odd to recap a recap show.
It was, yeah. Did you look up the Pibbs game? PIBS?
did, so it was hard for me to find, and I reopened the New York Times app for the second time, and then it popped up, says, do you want to play it? So I hit yes. But out of respect to you and our audience, I'll play it during normal work hours, not during Java with Josh hours.
We'll report back on that for next month's Java with Josh.
It looks fascinating, though.
So,
hey, those of you that have already hit that thumbs up button, thank you so much. For those of you that are still watching, hit that thumbs up button. Again, it helps the algorithm. Spell it. Nope, don't even try. Helps YouTube put our show in front of people who are searching for relevant and timely financial topics. Again, every Tuesday afternoon, Josh is going to talk again more and more. This time I keep them to like 2.5 minutes tops with quick little bullet point updates. No fluff, no frills, no jingles yet.
That one does need a jingle.
It does.
That'd be a great jingle one.
We'll put Madison in charge of that. You got to hit the if we're about to sign off. You got to hit the close.
Oh, hold on
Go
here.
back.
Oh yeah,
Rookie mistake here.
I'm not used to buttons here
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I like being in control though.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Sahil. Yeah. I don't know. Someone just said hello.
Oh, that's nice.
so.
Hi, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching.
Yep. Other than that, I think we're good to go. One more cheers. Did you get some good shots for the thumbnails here? It's got a really good smile.
You don't have any coffee left.
I did all the talking. I had lots of time to drink. So, all right, y'all.
Thank you.
Bye.
And I'm singing it loud. Love is all around. I'm floating away. Throw my hands up. It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining bright and it's going my way. Birds in the sky and I'm singing it loud. Love is all around and I'm floating away with you.